Everyone's telling you Lake Oswego is perfect, but what I discovered after researching this city for the last 6 months will absolutely terrify you. If you're thinking about moving to Lake Oswego in 2026, you need to hear this before you make the biggest mistake of your life. I'm Tom Baker, and I've been analyzing Lake Oswego data, talking to residents, and uncovering the truth that nobody wants to discuss. What I've found shocks me, and it's going to shock you too. Now, you've probably seen videos from Lake Oswego residents talking about how their concerns worked out fine, how they love living in Lake Oswego, the Lake Oswego life, how great everything turned out. But for every success story you hear, there are multiple families struggling in silence, trapped in a situation that they never saw coming. I'm Tom Baker, your local go-to realtor here in Clackamas County in Lake Oswego. All my contact information is below. Call or text me anytime. The statistics I've uncovered paint a very different picture than the marketing materials that you see. The hidden costs, the social pressure, the infrastructure problems, they're all real and they're getting worse next year in 26. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to expose 5 devastating reasons why you should not move to Lake Oswego in 2026 using real data and documented problems that could save you from years of financial and emotional destruction. But first, let me tell you about the social pressures that's crushing families right now that they weren't expecting. Here's what the data shows. Lake Oswego operates on an unspoken social hierarchy that ranks families based on wealth, connections, and status. If you're not part of that established elite, you'll face constant judgment and exclusion. The social reality that will isolate your family and destroy your confidence. Here's what nobody tells you about Lake Oswego's social structure. This isn't a welcoming community. It's an exclusive club where membership is determined by your bank account and your family history. Imagine being ranked like that. The established families have generational connections going back decades. They control the social events, the school boards, the community organizations, and as a newcomer, you're automatically an outsider looking in. The judgment's constant. It's brutal. Your car gets evaluated in the school pickup line. Your house gets scrutinized by neighbors who see themselves as the neighborhood watch for property values. Your lifestyle choices are all subject to social ranking. Community events aren't welcoming gatherings. They're evaluation sessions where newcomers are sized up and often found wanting. The PTA meetings, neighborhood associations, and social clubs operate with unwritten rules that exclude anyone who doesn't fit that narrow definition of acceptable. The pressure to conform is underwhelming. You'll find yourself spending money you don't have on things you don't need just to avoid being labeled as not Lake Oswego material. Somebody told me that recently, by the way. The social cost of living is as expensive as that financial cost. The social hierarchies are reinforced through every interaction, from casual conversations at a coffee shop to formal community meetings. And if you don't have the right background, the right connections, the right financial resources, you'll be politely but firmly excluded from the inner circles that control community life. But the social pressure is just the beginning. The financial reality will drain your bank account. The hidden costs that bankrupt families who thought they could afford to Lake Oswego. Maybe you moved here from a different state. Here's what the real estate listings don't tell you. The purchase price is just the entry fee. The real costs come after you move in, and they never stop, people. Property taxes in Lake Oswego average $18,000 to $25,000 a year. That's $15,000 to $2,000 a month just in taxes. But that's just the beginning of your financial nightmare. The HOA fees, landscaping requirements, the maintenance standards are designed to keep your property values high, but they keep your bank account empty. Kudos to you if none of this applies to you, but for most people, it does. Fall behind on any of these requirements, and you'll face local fines, liens, and social ostracism. The unspoken rule in Lake Oswego is that your property must constantly be improved and updated. That's true. Your neighborhood renovations put pressure on you to spend more money on your house that you may not have. That competitive cycle never ends. Ask the people who moved there and got an interest rate in 21 at 2%. Utility costs are higher because the city's infrastructure requirements, water, sewer, garbage, other services, all cost more than the surrounding areas. These small differences add up to thousands of dollars a year. The social pressures to maintain a certain lifestyle extends to everything: your car, your clothes, your vacation destinations, your dining choices. What is this, high school? The cost of keeping up an appearance in Lake Oswego can easily add $30,000 to $50,000 a year to your budget. $100,000 a year for a golf membership? Many families discover too late that their house poor, spending too much on that housing and lifestyle maintenance that they don't have nothing left for savings, for emergencies, for actual enjoyments of life. Now, even if you could handle that social pressure and financial drain, there's the daily reality that affects your quality of life. The infrastructure problems that make simple tasks expensive and frustrating. And here's what they don't advertise about Lake Oswego. And I'm there every single week, so I see this. The infrastructure is outdated, it's overcrowded now, and it's expensive to use. Simple daily tasks become complicated and costly ordeals. The traffic situation's an absolute nightmare because it's not built for that many people. The roads weren't designed for current population levels, and there's no realistic plan to improve them. Your commute times will be unpredictable and often unbearable. Parking is limited and expensive throughout the city. Even in residential areas, parking restrictions make having guests or service providers a constant hassle. Many neighborhoods have permit requirements that add to your monthly expenses. Shopping and dining, those options are extremely limited, in my opinion, and very overpriced for the quality that you get. Basic necessities cost 20 to 30% higher than the surrounding areas. Service providers charge premium rates because they know that you, as a resident, will pay. Your internet and utility services are often unreliable despite the high cost. The city's infrastructure struggles to keep up with demand, leading to frequent outages and service interruptions. And if you live there, you know exactly what I'm talking about because this happens all the time and it's that time of year. Getting basic services like plumbing, electrical work, home repairs, scheduling weeks in advance and paying premium rates. The limited number of approved contractor creates a monopoly situation that drives up costs. Nobody wants to admit it, but it's true. Even simple errands become expensive. Banking, dry cleaning, car maintenance, everything costs more and takes longer because of limited demands and high demands. But infrastructure problems are minor compared with the educational expectations due to families. The educational arms race that families that destroys them. Here's what they don't tell you about Lake Oswego's excellent schools. The academic reputation comes with a price tag that can bankrupt even wealthy families. That educational expectation aren't just about good schools. Those schools they have are great there. They're about an endless competition where some families spend between $20,000 to $40,000 a year on tutoring, test prep, and specialized programs just to keep up with community standards. Parents are pressured to hire private tutors for multiple subjects, the SAT prep specialist, college counselors and activity coaches starting in the middle schools. The cost of keeping up with educational expectations can easily exceed a second mortgage, in my opinion. The academic arms race never ends. Every family's educational spending puts pressure on other families to spend more money. What starts as just a little extra help becomes a full-time job managing tutors, schedules, and educational consultants. Now, the college preparation industry in Lake Oswego is massive and expensive. Families routinely spend anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 per year on college prep services, specialized programs, and resume building activities that are considered essential for administrative or competitive universities. The worst part is that this pressure destroys family finances and relationships. Parents become more stressed, anxious competitors instead of supportive guides. Family time gets consumed by academic scheduling and performance discussions. The educational spending becomes a status symbol itself. Families can't compete not just on results, but how much they are spending on educational services. It's another way the community reinforces the social hierarchies through financial pressures. Now, all these problems could be manageable if you could easily leave when things get bad. But there's one final trap that makes Lake Oswego truly dangerous: the financial and emotional prison that makes escape nearly impossible. Here's the most terrifying aspect of Lake Oswego. Once you're committed to that lifestyle and the financial obligations and the social expectations, leaving becomes incredibly difficult when you're miserable. The Beverly Hills of Oregon, so I've heard. The property values are so inflated that selling often means taking a significant financial loss, especially after you factor in the improvements you've made trying to keep up with your neighborhood standards. Your family becomes emotionally attached to the community schools, the social groups, making relocation feel like a failure and a punishment. The guilt of family conflict around leaving can be pretty overwhelming. The financial commitments multiply over time too. Educational expenses, activity fees, club memberships, $100,000 for golf. Okay. The social obligations create a web of expenses that are difficult to escape without major lifestyle disruption. Your professional and social networks become centered in Lake Oswego, making relocation feel like starting over completely. The longer you stay, the more entrenched you become in a system that's making you unhappy. Now, many families find themselves trapped in a beautiful prison, and it is, maintaining appearances while quietly struggling with debt, stress, and unhappiness. Who wants that? They can't afford to leave. They can't even afford to stay either. The isolation becomes complete when you realize that admitting problems or expressing dissatisfaction with Lake Oswego lifestyle is social suicide. You're expecting to maintain a facade of perfection even when your family is falling apart financially or emotionally. Now, let me recap these 5 devastating reasons not to move to Lake Oswego in 2026. And if you're looking to relocate, buy or sell anywhere in Clackamas County or the Portland metro area, or you want me to get you out of Lake Oswego, or hell, even if you want to get into Lake Oswego after everything that I said, all my contact information is below. Call or text me anytime. We talked about financial costs that drain your savings, creating long-term debt. We talked about infrastructure problems that make daily life expensive and frustrating. Those traffic lights just annoy me. And another one we talked about was the educational arms race that destroys families through endless competition. If you like that, more power to you. We also talked about the escape, the trap that makes financially leaving emotionally devastating for you. I want none of that for you. So here's the truth about Lake Oswego. Behind the beautiful facades and manicured lawns and the nice lake and the boats lies a community built on exclusion, competition, and financial pressures that destroy more families than it helps. The success stories you hear are real, but they only represent a small percentage of families who either had generational wealth, you know who I'm talking about, got extremely lucky, are still maintaining appearances while struggling privately. The data doesn't lie, guys, even when your marketing materials do. Lake Oswego's reputation is built on an image of management. It's not reality. The problems I've outlined are getting worse, not better, as more families compete for status in an increasingly expensive and exclusive environment. But before you decide you want to make a decision to move to Lake Oswego and get a boat and drive on the lake, ask yourself if you're prepared for the financial and social and emotional costs that come with the address. Are you ready to sacrifice your family's authentic happiness for the appearance of success? If you're looking for communities that offer excellent schools, beautiful homes, and genuine quality of life without the toxic downgrades, there are better options available. Don't let the Lake Oswego marketing machine convince you otherwise, and use that prestige if it's worth the price that you're going to pay. If you want to see communities that'll provide everything that Lake Oswego promises, but with authentic community, reputable, reasonable costs, and genuine happiness, What's the next video while I reveal the hidden gems, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my name's Tom Baker, your go-to realtor here. I appreciate you checking out my channel. If you're new again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I know you love this video. I appreciate you watching. And if there's anything in the world I could do for you, if you're looking to buy, sell, relocate anywhere in Clackamas County, if you wanted me to get you into Lake Oswego because you want to deal with all that and you got tons of money, I'd love to help you out and represent you. But more importantly, if you're looking to get out of there, there's a great amount of options in the surrounding areas where you can get beautiful schools, beautiful homes, and avoid all that drama. Thanks so much for taking the time to check out this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.